Hi guys, welcome back to Strange Recapped. Today I'm gonna show you a 2012 drama psychological horror movie called Helter Skelter.
At the beginning of the film, we are immersed in the atmosphere of the model business, lively streets of a megalopolis, glamorous photo sessions and commercials featuring famous beauties. A crowd of fans that imitate them discuss the social lives of their idols. More than anything in the world, they want to come a bit close to their beauty. In the background, we hear an off-camera voice of the main film character, a top model named LiLiCo. We understand from her words that despite being the local beauty icon, she is deeply unhappy. She has grown weary of the flashing lights and the sound of the camera shutters. And she hopes very much that this will end soon. Someone types LiLiCo's name in a web search bar and carefully looks at her photographs. It is a prosecutor working on some case in his office. Having studied her photos, he tells his assistant that any popularity resembles an illness. In turn, the assistant inquires whether there is new information about that clinic. The prosecutor says that after tax evasion, they started to work on the bribes for the politicians, as well as the trade of children's organs and drugs. Meanwhile, the assistant is looking at the photographs of the mutilated women. The prosecutor is certain that girls such as LiLiCo are only admired to see how she will fade later. This time, LiLiCo is in her glamorous flat and is narcissistically looking at herself in a mirror. She behaves decently during a press conference and talks about a shooting of her first film. Once off screen, LiLiCo goes into hysterics because her colleague gets to be on a magazine cover beside her. She nags her shy assistant named Hada about everything. It is either too hot in a dressing room, or the water is sparkling, and if the water is too cold, she spits it out in her face. Anyway, LiLiCo behaves selfishly and inadequately, but the service staff endures her and tries to please her. All of a sudden, her boyfriend enters the dressing room with a large bouquet. The staff leaves immediately, and they have sex right in the dressing room. Apart from continuous humiliation from LiLiCo, Hada also has to look after her slightly infantile boyfriend, with whom they live in a small and modest flat. She does the house chores, cooks for her boyfriend, and satisfies his sexual impulses. In the meantime, LiLiCo pleases an important producer, as he promises her all the magazine covers in exchange for sex. While having a bath, LiLiCo is on the phone with some woman she calls mother. This so-called mother is sort of LiLiCo's main sponsor, and so she constantly tells her what to do. Once home, LiLiCo takes off her clothes, lights a cigarette, and admires herself in the mirror again. She adjusts her bangs when she notices some black spot on her forehead for the first time. She screams out in horror. A makeup artist tells the mother about the mysterious spots on LiLiCo's skin. The mother reacts calmly, explaining that this is all because of plastic surgery. According to her, practically everything in LiLiCo's appearance is a fake that is quite worn out. The mother gives the makeup artist an expensive ruby ring, in return for keeping LiLiCo's secrets and loyalty to her. In the clinic, the doctor comforts LiLiCo and promises to fix everything. Suddenly, some woman screaming emerges, accusing the clinic of disfiguring her. While they try to calm down the woman, LiLiCo notices numerous hematomas and bruises on her. The doctor complains about the mad woman, explaining that the beauty needs to be renewed annually. One needs to earn a lot to do this. And in order to earn a lot, one needs to find a job. This is something that the woman has not done. The mother asks the doctor to prescribe LiLiCo something stronger and gives her a certain medication. The prosecutors look closely at a computer screen and a corpse of another model who died through the clinic's fault. They consider that this medical facility uses illegal organs, skin, and muscles for their operation, while the patients are forced to survive on drugs for the rest of their lives. All of this is because of greed and the desire to become popular. LiLiCo continues to participate in all the possible photo sessions, TV shows, interviews, and keeps enjoying other privileges that come with popularity. This time, she is dropped off at home by her assistant Hada. Once home, LiLiCo notices the black spots again and bursts with hysterical laughter. But LiLiCo is drunk. She decides to distract herself and flirt with her assistant, encouraging her to try lesbianism. Meantime, a girl named Chiru visits the mother and announces that she wants to see her sister LiLiCo. Happy LiLiCo brags to her stylist the next day, showing an expensive ring. A moment later, she is on the floor, heartbroken after reading her sister's letter. It says that all their family came to Tokyo but, unfortunately, didn't catch her available. It is also a shame that the boss refused to give them LiLiCo's phone number, but the sister gloats that she did manage to write it down discreetly. LiLiCo meets with her sister in secret outside the city. The sister is happy to see LiLiCo, sincerely admiring her accomplishments. In turn, LiLiCo advises her sister to work on herself, adjust her appearance, lose weight, and then success will await her as well. The sister complains that she is not as strong as LiLiCo. But LiLiCo replies that it was the beauty that made her strong. LiLiCo goes through another facelift operation in the clinic. She is evidently worried, but the doctor recalls her more painful procedures. According to her, when LiLiCo ended up there for the first time, no one wanted to work with her. She was an ugly piece of meat, and she was very lucky that she became who she is today. Fortunately, the aggressive doctor is merely a fragment of her imagination caused by the sedation. Once again, refreshed LiLiCo is ready for the new challenges, and she is all shining on a red carpet. She ascends a stage where the fans cheer her and take photos of her. When asked about the secret of her beauty, LiLiCo answers with a standardized response, talking about yoga and diets. The prosecutor watches her on a TV and his assistant remarks that LiLiCo somehow got under his skin. The prosecutor calls this a normal professional curiosity since he associates LiLiCo with an idea of Helter Skelter, meaning total chaos. According to him, she is their bargaining chip in this chaos, so they finally have to meet. In the meantime, LiLiCo decides to have a snack when the mother enters and accuses her of gluttony. In turn, LiLiCo accuses the mother of sending very little money to her family. The mother answers that most of the money is wasted on LiLiCo's whims. What is more, she needs to take back what she invested in her. The mother also reminds LiLiCo that she must be grateful to her since she was nothing before. A secretary suddenly interrupts their conversation, presenting a young and promising model named Kozue everyone is so crazy about. She is only 18 years old, and she is already a new idol of the youths. LiLiCo looks at Kozue with anger and envy after recognizing her own future replacement. And now they participate in the photo sessions together, jump, hug, and smile at each other. But LiLiCo is definitely not happy about her new friend, since her star status is slipping away right before her. The fans' preferences change rapidly and now everyone wants to look like Kozue. Whereas LiLiCo consumes sedatives and gradually takes a back seat. LiLiCo runs around a roof in a fit of hysterics. She is followed by the stylist and the assistant. While on the very edge, LiLiCo cries out and asks who found this Kozue. No one needs her anymore now, and she no longer wants to do it all. Once getting there in time to help, the mother lowers her guard and unnoticeably injects her with a sedative. The next day, LiLiCo is on the phone with her boyfriend, who has secretly proposed to some politician's daughter. The boyfriend justifies himself by saying that it would unlikely work out between them, whereas he needs an advantageous marriage. Hada tells her boyfriend that LiLiCo is deeply depressed, but then LiLiCo herself suddenly comes to their apartment. She flirts with her boyfriend and suddenly, starts to have sex with him right in front of the appalled assistant. Following LiLiCo's orders, Hada's boyfriend organizes an attack on that politician's daughter, whom her boyfriend decided to take as his wife. He spills acid in her face and flees from the crime scene with Hada. LiLiCo blackmails them after this, promising to reveal what's happened. Then she admits that she is only joking, and this secret will remain between them. Then she simply makes them have sex in front of her. While applying the makeup, the stylist notices the large black spots on LiLiCo's back of the head. Later, he tells the mother about this. But she is not too surprised, remarking that the end of her career is close. LiLiCo is in her boyfriend's arms again. She asks cynically how the disfigured girl is doing, but the boyfriend answers that he has always loved only her. The prosecutor discusses the further details of the investigation with his assistant, adding that it is time to meet a certain Tiger Lily, which is apparently LiLiCo's stage name. In the meantime, LiLiCo participates in a film shooting in a large basement aquarium, where the prosecutor visits her. He calls LiLiCo the Tiger Lily during the meeting and gives her his card. He questions her about the clinic, but LiLiCo assures that he is mistaken and asks him not to call her that. The prosecutor hands over an envelope with the case materials about the clinic and asks to help save other women from this deep precipice. Once home, LiLiCo looks through the prosecutor's dreadful materials. Suddenly, she has a panic attack which she tries to fight using drugs. After this, LiLiCo sees another commercial starring Kozue and orders compliant Hade to disfigure her by cutting her with a knife. LiLiCo starts to hallucinate seriously right in front of a camera and audience after getting stoned in a toilet before the shooting. And all of that during a show that is in honor of her birthday. LiLiCo overturns her cake, falls onto the floor and panically fights off the studio decorations that came to life. Meanwhile, Hada chases Kozue, catches up with her in a secluded place, and takes out a knife, intending to follow LiLiCo's order. But Kozue reacts calmly, assuring Hada that she is not against such a fate. According to Kozue, her whole life is a complete fake and doesn't even belong to her. Surprised, Hada doesn't dare undertake the deed. Having found out that Hada couldn't follow her order, LiLiCo beats her up and hysterically runs outside into the pouring rain. She drops her pills onto the wet road and eats them right from the puddle. She starts to hallucinate and shouts all over the street again. Hada finds the materials about the clinic in LiLiCo's flat, puts them into an envelope, and drops them into a mailbox. The journalists rush to LiLiCo's home right away, asking her about the clinic and its dark doings. But it seems that LiLiCo enjoys it since she is the center of attention once again. The fans eagerly discuss LiLiCo and her plastic surgeries. She is fashionable again. But it seems that nothing can help LiLiCo. Her brain is completely engulfed by the hallucinations, her body is covered by the black spots, and her hair falls out in clumps. In the meantime, the superiors suspend the prosecutor from the case due to the leak of information to the media. But he promises not to give up. LiLiCo is beautiful once again, and in her imagination, there is another fictional meeting with the prosecutor in an empty theater. She tells him that she is going to put an end to everything, but the prosecutor talks LiLiCo out of this since no one will appreciate her sacrifice. And she appears before a full audience of journalists to talk about the preceding events. Numerous microphones are before her, and the sound of the flashlights seems endless. The audience falls silent. LiLiCo gets up, takes out a knife and stabs herself in the eye. Once an awkward pause is passed, the journalists start to take photos again. LiLiCo falls onto the ground, and the imaginary red feathers coat her. All of LiLiCo's acquaintances testify in an interrogation room, and the fans enthusiastically discuss various theories, saying that there must have been computer graphics instead of LiLiCo and she may probably be still alive. The prosecutor walks around the city with his assistant, but suddenly they encounter a rather attractive girl who thanks him for everything and invites him over. It turns out that it is the same LiLiCo's plain sister. The prosecutor explains to his assistant that she is also now the Tiger Lily, and that 159 patients have already suffered at the hands of the clinic, 9 of which have died of suicide. In fact, one of them went missing, and that was LiLiCo. According to him, she is the only one who will remain popular forever. They look around and pass by a commercial about the soon release of a book called The Legend of LiLiCo. Kozue has completely replaced LiLiCo since then. She is now the main star. After another photo session, she and her friends decide to go to some club with a dubious reputation. Kozue accidentally notices Hada in the club, who suggests following her. Having entered some VIP premise, Kozue is startled when she sees LiLiCo, truly alive yet one-eyed. She is wearing a tiara, she is sitting on a throne smiling.
The movie ends here. Hope you guys enjoy the movie. Thanks for watching guys, subscribe to our channel.